Hello guys, it's me again, KillSwitch. So today I'm going to show you all of the legendary gears for Demon Hunter. And for the next videos, for the next few days, I will post guides about the best gears for Demon Hunter. For player versus environment and player versus player. So first, let's start with the Helms. Essence Cowl of Absolute Punishment will be this one. Multi-shot damage increased by 10%. Day's Frightful Persona Knockback Shot will be increased by 10%. The damage. Frozen Guardian Sight. Sentry becomes empowered with frost, damaging and chilling enemies. That means the enemies will be slowed. So the sentries will look like this. It has a chilling aura. Looks like an ice because the arrow is an ice. Next will be Artery Masters Battle Helm. Sentry now fires massive shells that deal damage and knock enemies away, but the maximum number of active sentries is decreased. As you guys can see, the charge of my sentry is only 1. There's no number instead of 2. You can only use it one time. So it became a ballista instead of a crossbow. This will knock back enemies away. Next one will be E-Seals Contain Destruction. Did not show you the essence. The artery. So this is the artery. E-Seal will look like this. Sentry now fires mortars that explode to damage all enemies in our area. So it will make the arrow AOE, area of effect. The charge of the sentry went back to 2. And it will look like this. Next will be Vision of the Lost. During Vengeance, each defeated enemy increases the remaining duration by 0.2 up to maximum of 2.4 seconds. Next will be Cowl of Focus Hatred. Multi-shot fires 4 additional arrows. So the normal multi-shot will look like this. Let's remove the helm first. Okay. So you can see the additional arrows. But it's not that much. One more time. There we go. Next one will be the last one for the helm. Boundless Ingenuity. Maximum charges on daring swing will be increased by 1. So the sentry, instead of 2 charges, it will now be 3. So this is the Boundless Ingenuity. To the shoulders, multi-shot also launches 2 homing rockets, each dealing 969 damage. So that is that. So let's check the skill out. There's the 2 rockets each time we use multi-shot. So next will be Vash Typhonic Stampede. Rain of Vengeance summons waves of Shadow Beasts. So that's how it looks like. So the normal Rain of Vengeance is this one. Arrows falling down from the sky. And let's use now the shoulder. So the Rain of Vengeance will change into this one. Next will be Strikers Pauldrons. Rain of Vengeance instead summons a flying shadow beast that continually drops bombs in an area. This is the highest possible damage for the skill, but the area will be very small. So instead of arrows, it will look like this. As you guys saw, the circle is very small. It's only good for bosses, not for mobs. Next will be Blade Wings. Knife Trap maximum number active increased by 1 and Knife Trap maximum charges increased by 1. So the Knife Trap has 4 charges instead of 3. It will look the same as the normal one, but we can place 4 at the same time. Next will be Hailstone Shoulders. Rain of Vengeance become empowered with frost, damaging and chilling enemies. So it will be the same, but the arrows will be ice arrows again, just like the sentry, and it will slow the enemies down. Next will be Bombardment Stall. Rain of Vengeance instead summon bomb dropping shadow beasts that damage and stun enemies. By the way, the Hailstone Shoulders look like this, and the Bombardment Stall look like this. So Rain of Vengeance will be this one. The area will be small too compared with the Stampede, but this has a stun. Next will be Shadow Stalkers Pauldrons. Spinning Chakram maximum charges increased by 1. So the Chakram has an additional charge. Instead of 1, it's now 2. If you catch it, you can have the charge immediately. For the last one, Chill Rat Mantle. Daring Swing now fires Ice Arrow, forming an icy path that continually damages and chills. So the Shadow Stalker's Pauldrons look like this, and the Chill Rat Mantle look like this. Daring Swing will slow the enemies down, and they are damaged when they walk in this path. Next will be the armor. Untempered Hatred knockback shot now fires mortars into the sky that bombard enemies within range. Armor looks like this. So the normal knockback shot is this one. Okay, instead of knocking back the enemies, it will be the damaging skill already. A burst one. Next will be Shadow Flight Breastplate. Rain of Vengeance duration increased by 30%. Kiras of the Death Watch strafe damage increased by 10%. So passives. Hell Trapper Cage knife trap damage increased by 10%. Plate of Lethal Intent knife trap aiming time decreased by 85%. Darkness Embrace. Smokescreen now creates thicker, longer lasting smoke that maintains concealment while you are in it. However, you will be briefly visible each time you attack. So normal Smokescreen is this one. And when using the armor, it will look like this. It's longer, it's better. Next will be Petam's Secret Arsenal. Knockback shot becomes empowered with frost, leaving a frozen trail in its path that damages and chills enemy. So this is what it looks like. It's already blue instead of red. And there is an icy path. For the final one, for the armor, Heart of Vengeance, Vengeance cooldown will be decreased by 15%. Next one will be the pants. Inescapable Raptor knife trap becomes frost trap, damaging and chilling enemies when explode. So this one, it became blue. Next will be Master Alchemist Folds. Smokescreen instead throws a gas bomb at location, continually damaging all nearby enemies. So that is the Smokescreen. It will now damage the enemies instead of a buff. Next will be Assassin's Heritage. Smokescreen instead throws an explosive grenade at location, increasing Smokescreen maximum charges to 2. So instead of 1, it will add another 1. So we can now throw the Smokescreen. Leg guards of the Inevitable Inferno. Knife trap becomes Immolation trap, burning the ground and all nearby enemy when detonated. So knife trap. Immolation means it will burn the enemies. Ruinous Path increases all the damage you deal by 6% during Vengeance while we use our buff. Next, Jane's Silent Retribution. Your critical chance is increased by 50% for 1 second after Smokescreen concealment ends. So that is for the leg guards, Ruinous Path, and Giant's Silent Retribution. Second to the last, Slayer's Breaches. Enemies hit by spinning chakram will suffer 4% additional damage if hit again by spinning chakram within a short time, stacking up to 5 times. Cough's Unrelenting Fury. During Vengeance, every two primary attacks will cause you to launch 1 additional rocket that deals 1230 damage to a nearby target. So if we use Vengeance and then normal attack, there is these missiles every 2 attack. Now for the main bow. First is Turmoil. Strafe also launches homing rockets, each dealing damage to a nearby enemy. So the Strafe will now have a homing missile too. Flame Spite. Multi-shot now fires flaming arrows that damage and burn enemies. Normal multi-shot will be this one. Only red arrows. It will now be fire arrows. Dreadlands Requital. Rain of Vengeance. Damage will be increased by 10%. Breath of the Winter. Multi-shot now fires frost arrows that damage and chills the enemy. A counterpart for the Flame Spite. This is focusing on player versus player. Next will be Watcher's Salvation. Sentry maximum number active increased by 1 and Sentry maximum charges increased by 1. So you will now have 3 sentries. Next will be Ember Mist. Smokescreen cooldown will be decreased by 15%. Unrelenting Furor. Strafe duration increased by 30%. And for the final one, Vigilance. Sentry also launches rocket every 2 attacks, dealing additional 796 damage. So the appearance doesn't change, but it will, when it attacks, it will have an additional hit-seeking missiles. So now for the offhand, this array Strafe instead throws explosive grenades, each damaging all nearby enemies. So while using Strafe, it will throw grenades. Chain Bolter. Bloody Chains now also connect your sentry turrets. Each chain provides 30% damage reduction to your sentries up to a maximum of reduction of 60%. So sentries now have this line, so they will not be destroyed immediately. Next will be the Hangerer. Hangerer. So this will be the bow. Crossbow shot will now pierce through enemies and strike additional enemies behind. Black Talon. Strafe now continually fires piercing bolts in a direction. Same effect with the Hangerer, but using the Strafe. Next will be Night Warden's Eye. Sentry damage increased by 10%. Hellbinder. Explosive Arrow now also causes enemies to burn for 1340 damage over 2 seconds. Blade Thrower. Spinning Chakram now fires stationary chakram. that continually damages all nearby enemies but no longer has multiple charges. So the spinning chakram will now stay in place. And for the last offhand bow, Shredder Vein. Spinning chakram na orbits your location for several seconds but can no longer have multiple charges. So the chakram will spin around your body, your character. So that's it guys, that is all of the legendary gears for Demon Hunter. There's a lot of good combinations here. I have tested everything out and it seems that there is this best build for the highest damage possible for mobility. For example, if you want the spinning chakram, this is a cool looking skill but the damage is not that good. So you want to combo, for example, the blade thrower, this one, with the shoulder shadow Stalkers Pauldrons. For the pants, you want to get the Slayer breeches. So that is the one of the examples for combination. You need to read everything and depending on your gameplay, make a build for you. But for the next few days, I will make a video for the best build for mobility, player versus environment, for player versus environment, pure damage, and for player versus player. So that's it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or suggestion, please feel free to comment that down below. Thank you for watching. Until next time.